Hey there. Subscribe to my channel and also press this bell icon so you can get latest video notifications. And this is absolutely free.
Welcome back, all my viewers. Today we are out with a new dose of motivation. To motivate you all, today we have with us Mr. Akshara Damle, who is a TEDx speaker and a psychologist based out of Bangalore. He has been working for the cause of mental wellness in different sections of the society. So formally, I would like to welcome him to this session of Motivational Talk.
Yeah. Kannada or English?
Either of the languages, sir, whichever you're comfortable with.
I am comfortable with English, Kannada, Hindi, Tulu.
Yeah, let's mix up. So I think it will be much clearer to the audience, Alva, sir.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
So now we would officially welcome Mr. Akshara Damle. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
So yes, sir. First of all, your opinion, current situation, your words, a few words about the current situation, sir.
Current situation is kind of a very difficult one to bear with because we already had one pandemic and this is the second wave, and things were in the verge of becoming normal, but again we had to lock ourselves down, and this has actually created more anxiety among people for two reasons. One is the second wave was more virulent, or kind of the damage that it created was much more than the first wave in terms of the youngsters that it has impacted, and the level of oxygen was going down drastically, and there was a huge demand for beds, oxygen beds and ICU and other things. And we have lost so many very, very dear ones in our own circles. The second worry is, if second wave has hit us this bad, how would be the third wave? And there is already news that Mumbai is witnessing the third wave. And hence the worry is how long it is going to continue and what is going to happen. So most of the people are anxious, fearful, and worried about their health, their wellness, their business or their job, their career, all these things.
Exactly. So, this will be extending, you said. So how should a student shape his career? I think this is the worst hit. We just saw that second PU exams also got cancelled. So I think this sector, student sector, I think it's the worst affected because of COVID. So you students, how should they shape their career if the extension of the lockdown or COVID is there?
ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪಿ ಯುನವರಿಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ಪೋನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಬಹಳ ಖುಷಿ ಪಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಐ ರಿಯಲಿ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ನೋ ವೆದರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಗುಡ್ ಸೈನ್ ಆರ್ ಎ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಸೈನ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಈ ಖುಷಿ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥದ್ದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಖುಷಿನ, ಅಥವಾ ನಾವು ಸೇಫ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೇವೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಖುಷಿನ, ಅಥವಾ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಗೆ ಓದೋ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ನು ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಟಿವಿ ಶೋಸ್ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನೋಂಥದಕ್ಕೆ ಖುಷಿನಾ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥದ್ದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಿನ್ನೆನೆ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮೋದಿ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಝೂಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ ವಾಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲಿಂಗ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್. And the major issue that they expressed is, we were all stressed about the exam and now we got relief. But in life, you are going to have many more exams. May not be in the examination hall, but in life itself. Exactly. Suddenly you may have to take a decision. Suddenly you may have to face a crisis. Suddenly you may have to face a challenge. And these are all exams. And if you are so stressed, or if you get so relieved when you get to see that exam is not there, then I am worried about their mental health status, their grit, and their ability to take challenges in the coming days. But apart from that, in terms of career, the core question that you have asked, see, with regard to career, I am really worried for them, because whatever the job opportunities that they had is almost gone, and recreating new opportunities is also not that easy, because every sector has got impacted, whether it is tourism, whether it is IT. Even though IT is still standing strong because everything happens on internet, still selling the products have become very difficult. So even though you have come out with the software, if you have to sell it for some of your clients, you will have to go physically and give a demo of it, which is not happening, and people are still holding on into investing money on these kind of products, and many startups have got stuck because of no investment. So scenario, it is a very difficult situation for many students, and what I would suggest is get diversified. ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬರೇ ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿ ಕಲ್ತಿರೋದಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದಷ್ಟು ಏನೋ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಕಲ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಒಬ್ಬ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗೆ ಬರೇ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದಷ್ಟು ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಕಲ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣದ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಒಬ್ಬ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ಗೆ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಳಾಗಿರೋ ಫ್ಯಾನ್ ಅನ್ನು ರಿಪೇರಿ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ.
ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ.
ಸೊ 4 ವರ್ಷ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೇನು ಅನ್ನೋ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ. ಈ ತರದ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳನ್ನ, ಈ ತರದ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಒಬ್ಬ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಗೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಅವನು ಬರೇ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮ್ನೆ ಬರೆದು ತೋರ್ಸೋದಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನೋ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಡರ್ಟಿ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕೀ. ಸೊ ಈಗಿನ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ನಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ವೈಟ್ ಕಾಲರ್ ಜಾಬ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕಷ್ಟ ಪಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್, ಗೆಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಡರ್ಟಿ, ಗೆಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಸಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ಅಥವಾ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಹೊಸ ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನು ಕಲೀರಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಹೊಸ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಕಲೀರಿ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಡೈವರ್ಸಿಫೈಡ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಸ್ಟೈನ್. And this is not my suggestion, this is what environment has taught us.
Exactly.
The more diversity of population is existing, the better survival possibilities.
Exactly.
So that is the message for students.
So basically you're telling students to get into multidisciplinary education, multidisciplinary kind of education, and not to focus on a particular discipline, and to get on with live hands-on.
Or even if they have focused on one discipline, then get diversified by learning new things.
Exactly. Okay, sir. So next thing that I would want to ask you is about the media. Like, we see so much of contradictory news that is being telecasted on medias. So I think we must give an end to it. How exactly we should give an end to this kind of contradictory news, or like how should people react to such contradictory news? That is what I wanted to ask you.
It's a very difficult task.
Exactly.
Because I mean, there is no, I mean, self-censorship is something that has been propagated in India instead of real censorship from the government, because that is going against the principle of democracy. Now media is considered as fourth pillar of democracy, and you cannot be simply say sidelining it. Now what the problem media is facing is, or the challenge for a news channel to sustain is, they have to create the hype. They have to sensationalize a story even if it is not worth it, because otherwise people are, so that is what media thinks. Or with my interactions with media people, what I have understood is, unless you bring that in under through that sensationalization, people are not focusing on the news. But in the recent past, a lot of people are focusing or enjoying watching news channels like DD Chandana. Not it's not a news channel, but a channel where you get real news instead of opinions. And people are intellectual or intelligent enough to build their own opinions based on the news that they get. So interestingly, I had seen this WhatsApp post by somebody saying, when this other private news channels are saying that ಕೋವಿಡ್ ರಣ ಕೇಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಇನ್ನೇನೋ ಇದು ಜೀವ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಜಲ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚಂದನದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು.
Exactly.
So this is how news channels have to rebrand themselves by giving more positive news. That's why there are many web platforms which have become more popular among youth, which are sharing positive news with people.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
basically we should analyze to what to see, what not to see, what to
Yes,
accept, what not
it
to
is our responsibility. Then we can't put it on media because there is no end to it.
Exactly. Yes, sir. So after COVID, post-COVID, there are so many industries which are declining and so many industries are booming as well. So I want your comments on this, like which industries will survive even after the extension of COVID and which are those industries will decline and what are the new opportunities that will be created. I want to know all these from your ends.
See, in the COVID pandemic time also, FMCG sector has boomed in a very good way. When I say FMCG, it can be right from all the groceries things. All these sectors have grown without
Yes.
having any issues. Pharma sector has grown many folds. Hospitals have thrived. So and in the second wave, even infrastructure sector is growing because on the one side, when we are facing lockdown, there is a push for building infrastructure on the other side. So say, and also what I opine based on my understanding of economy is, see, for the time being, some of the sectors may go down, but again they will boom up. For example, say many people have thought or have presumed that tourism sector has gone into kind of very bad shape.
Exactly.
But on the other side, what I was seeing is there is a vaccine tourism that has evolved in the recent past, where these tourism agencies have come up with this idea of 25 days of stay in Russia, where the person will get Sputnik vaccine and 3-4 days of local tour and then come back, because flights are still there for most of the nations.
Exactly.
So this is what has happened. So tourism sector has evolved. On the other side, because the virtual tours have become more predominantly significant in the present time, I heard that tourism agencies are going to these spots or hiring photographers or 3D photographers in specific locations like Bali and other places, getting it getting it shot, and then showing it to the people as a virtual tour, as if you are actually going to that place and enjoying whatever is possible. And in this 3D technology or 5D technology era, I don't think they will fall back in terms of bringing out all the experiences that one can have in the real time by sitting at home.
Correct.
Say, like, you may say when you go to a beach side, you may actually smell the actual smell of the water or the fish there.
Soil smell.
So something like that may come. So you never know.
Exactly. So after listening to this, I think probably everyone ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಯಾವ್ದ್ಯಾವ್ದು ಹೊಸ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ they can find their career or ಯಾವ area of interest. I think probably they will get a little ray of hope. So next thing is ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋದು, now it's become online. Education ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, work from home ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, completely it's online. Like few are having positive comments on it, few are having negative comments on it. So your opinion towards online education and online work?
Okay. Online education has become inevitable for
students,
for the fact that say there are two reasons. One is as if you look at the learning outcomes, again in the first wave I was totally against online education, because I believed that this is not going to give any benefit. And in fact I have a similar opinion even now, but through online something else can also be tried out, because what has happened is when this unlock was happening, say for couple of months,
Hmm.
when students came back to schools, they had forgotten almost everything.
Correct.
When even they didn't have the online classes, and even though they had online classes, their attention span has gone down, and children are becoming more frustrated and irritated. That is another problem that I see. So I also have a mixed opinion about online education. So what I would suggest is maybe 2 to 3 hours of class for in a day, up to say 7th or 8th standard, and maybe another 1 hour or 1.5 hours extra for those who are in 9th or 10th standard, but not more than that, because it's not just impacts mental health but also physical health. A lot of kids have started getting too much of headache, and some of them also have got specs because of screen time, increased screen time. So I have been interacting with many students. I have also been treating many students for this attention deficit, irritation, frustration, and so on. So yeah, again, this is the contribution of online.
Hmm.
And I am also worried in the future that say in the present day kids are not getting any exposure in the outside world.
Correct.
And I'm concerned if a day comes when the people, say presently, right now itself, people are not interacting much with others. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಪಾರ್ಕಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅಕ್ಕಪಕ್ಕ ನಡೀತಿದ್ದವ್ರನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ನಗುದು ಕೂಡ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Correct.
ಅಥವಾ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ನಗ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಾದ್ರೆ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಸಮ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಕೆಪ್ಟಿಸಿಸಮ್ ವಿತ್ ದಟ್. ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಈ ನಗುನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಕುಹಕತನ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋರು ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗಲೇ ಈ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ, next after 20 years, because these kids are used to communicate only through virtual medium, I'm worried, will they be able to have proper communication, eye to eye contact? And I don't know, I'm worried about that.
Exactly.
And when it comes to work from home, it's again a very tough thing. Say people are again having this difficulty of building a boundary with regard to their house or their personal life and their professional life. There are two reasons for this. One is organizations are not able to appreciate the personal lives of the employees. And on the other hand, what they are thinking is, anyway, they are saving the time of travel or commutation to the office and back home.
Correct.
So the organizations are thinking of utilizing that time also, so that they can improvise the productivity of the organization. So there are a couple of issues over there. But what I would suggest is, as a team, people have to come to a consensus that we are going to work from this time and till this time. But during that working hours, we will say, suppose certainly kid will ask for some time from the parent, whether it is father or mother. Correct. You cannot be restricting. So come out with those break plans as well. If you tell your kid, say, I'm coming in half an hour, I'm finishing this work in half an hour, and there is a break of half an hour, then kid will understand. Kid will still wait for you. But if you are working from 9 to 6 p.m. continuously, then that is where the problem comes. So as a team, organizations have to come out with this idea of break for family time in between, since they have already stretched their working hours much more than what they used to.
Exactly. And to add on, ಇವಾಗ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮಕ್ಳು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಿ ಇವಾಗ ಸೇರ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಇವಾಗ ವರ್ಕಿಗೆ ಸೇರ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಫ್ರೆಷರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ. ಸೊ ಅಂತವರಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟಿಪ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಕೊಡಕ್ ಇಷ್ಟ ಪಡ್ತೀರಾ ಸರ್?
ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ again try to minimize screen time.
I've seen like people start
ಅವರಿಗೆ
ಪಾಪ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್
ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತಾನೆ ಈಗಲೂ ನನ್ನ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್. Maybe they can have classes for their mothers or fathers.
Exactly.
And tell them, see, these are the activities that you have to do with your kid. So it will become a nursery training for the parents.
Correct.
Not for the kid. Instead of making the kid to sit in front of the camera. So ಇದು ಬೆಟರ್ ಮೆಥಡ್, ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನೇ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಎದುರು ಕೂರಿಸೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಫ್ರೆಶರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ದಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಎ ನ್ಯೂ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಕನ್ಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನಾವು ಹೈರ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ, ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಇಷ್ಟುವರೆಗೆ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಕಳೆದ 1 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದಾರೋ ಹೀಗೆ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಗೊತ್ತು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಂತ. ಆ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಟಚ್ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸತಿ. ಈಗ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಈ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಥವಾ ವರ್ಕ್ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಟೀ ಕುಡಿತಾ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಐಡಿಯಾಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಕಾಫಿ ಕುಡಿತಾ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಐಡಿಯಾಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಟೀ ಕಾಫಿ ಕುಡಿತಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಅನ್ಯೋನ್ಯತೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಸೇ 3 to 4 ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಟೈಮ್, ಸೊ 2:59 everyone will log in, 3:59 everyone will log out. After that nobody is going to stay back. Correct. So this has become the issue. So whoever has joined in the recent past, buy some time from the ones whom you want to speak, of course, again maybe through virtual medium itself, or maybe on a weekend buy some time from them, ask them, can you spare 30 minutes for me, and start developing this kind of building a rapport, so that they get to understand not just the person but also the work culture of the organization.
Correct.
Presently organizations are not able to continue with their work culture itself.
Correct. But and to tell about this online education ಬಗ್ಗೆನೆ ಸುಮಾರು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ವರ್ ಒಪೈನಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇಂದ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಬೆಟರ್ ಐಡಿಯಾ. ಲೈಕ್ ರಿಟೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ ಕೂಡ ಹೂಎವರ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಟೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ 2021 ಅವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ 1 year ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಲೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಬೆಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಯೋರ್ ಸಜೆಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್?
I have a counter question for all those students who are giving this suggestion. How many books have they read in this 1 year? How many things that they have created on their own, whether it is pictures or writings or some models, working models, whatever. What happens is, see, by postponing 1 year of academics, you are actually giving more time for children or students to spend time in watching some movies, web series, or playing games on mobiles. It's not helping in any way.
Correct.
If they are, and what is there in losing 1 year in terms of retirement and all? In the first place, what I would suggest is, don't think of retiring. Even say retirement happens only in the government jobs. That too, it's a forced retirement. I have seen people exploring so many other opportunities only after retirement. Just to give you an example, my father is more busy after retirement, because earlier he was teaching in a college, so he was stuck because of the college responsibilities. Once the retirement happened, he is unstoppable. Correct. So retirement itself is a wrong notion in the first place. Youngsters like us should never think about retirement. We should always think we will work until we want to work. It should be our choice.
Correct.
And if they are utilizing all this time for their self improvement, then they can bypass this 1 year that they are losing through their other intellectual capabilities, because we do not know how many more years we are going to continue in this kind of pandemic. See, one wave was over, second wave has come, second wave is over, third wave is coming, and later we do not know what the virus is going to behave like. So how long can we simply keep on postponing in the name of retirement?
Correct.
Leave the present life, no?
Exactly. And to tell about another thing, ಇವಾಗ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಲೈಕ್ I'm not telling about everyone. ಸುಮಾರು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಲೈಕ್ they have, in terms of finance, they'll be financially well off, ಮನೇಲೂ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂತವ್ರು I've seen they're not willing to help people who are in need. ಇವಾಗ ಈ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ I think that is the most important thing. So ಅಂತವರಿಗೆ what will you say, and how do you motivate such people to actually start doing something to the society? I think it's their responsibility as well.
Yes. It is responsibility of everyone.
Exactly.
And again, it may be a kind of judgment, but say, even if you have crores of rupees with you, if you're not happy, there is no point.
Correct.
And there is a lot of happiness in giving to others than taking from others. what I have experienced personally is last year I have conducted self-care sessions and training programs for more than 1,000 people who were volunteers in many organizations, and I have got all the happiness out of it. And I have also treated so many people for free because it was a pandemic situation, and I have got the happiness all out of it. And presently we are also serving food through an organization that we established last year called Mantra Foundation, where 300 plus people are getting cooked meal every day. And we have also distributed more than 260 kits, ration kits, to the needy people, not just within Bangalore, but also outside Bangalore, reaching out to tribal areas of Nagarhole also. And the happiness that they express. Say, for example, there was a very, a person who has led a very respectable life, but presently in crisis because his occupation has no option to earn. He's a cook primarily. So I went to his house and handed over the ration kit, and the way he did namaskara was so heartening that he did it from his heart, and he said, "You have saved my family." Even though the ration kit is going to suffice only for a month, within a month they can actually plan something out, right? So I feel that it has to come from within. You can't force it upon them.
Correct.
You have to realize just by staying in a mansion and earning a lot of money is not going to help them in any way. Instead of that, if they give it out to people, it will come back. And there is also a saying which we use in a networking platform called BNI, that it is givers gain. The more you give, the more you gain. There is nothing to lose.
Exactly. Well said, sir. So that other thing that I would want to ask you is, ಇವಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನ ಜಾಬ್ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಮೇಲೆ they're thinking that their life is over. So ಅಂತವರಿಗೆ, if you have to motivate, what will be your words?
I would like to quote Thomas Alva Edison's story here. He was a great scientist, got all those accomplishments, more than 1,000 patents in his name, all those things. And almost towards fag end of his life, his factory caught fire, and the whole factory was burning. And there was no way they could stop the fire. Whatever the accomplishments that he had made in all those years were becoming, were under the fire. But what he does is very interesting. He calls his son. He is witnessing the fire just there. He calls his son and asks him to bring his mother as well. His son asks him, "Why are you asking me to bring my mother? What has gone wrong? We are already going through such a big crisis." He says, "She will not be able to see such a huge fire in her lifetime." So, and once the fire got extinguished, the next day itself, Thomas Alva Edison was busy in rebuilding the organization, rebuilding the factory. So this is the strength that we draw from stalwarts like him. The story never ends until the life ends, and ending life should not be our choice. It should happen naturally. So all those who have lost jobs, create something on your own. And if you are creative enough, if you have this inquisitive mind, and if you have this courage to invent something, then there is nothing which will stop you.
Correct.
But if you couldn't become an engineer, or you couldn't work in big companies like Google, no problem. You create some new
something which is more
after
than
After 10 years, the same company may buy your product. Who knows?
Correct. So finally, if you have to say to a motivational word to all the depressed minds, what will that be, sir?
Say if they are depressed, then they have to get a therapy. If they're sad, then what I would say is there is it's a experience the sadness for now, but develop that resilience within you. The more resilient you are, the more you will bounce back, and until you feel like growing further, keep growing. So that is what I feel. And also for all the people who are worried what is going to happen, what is not going to happen, and so on, uh, again there is a philosophical saying that this time will pass, but I would like to add something more to it. Till this time passes and normal life comes, you have to stay strong
Correct.
and mentally healthy and physically healthy. So work on that, so that you will be able to embrace the new life, new normal, in in a great way, so that you can create new possibilities for yourself.
Yes, sir. So one last thing about our channel, like what do you want to say about this?
The channel is doing a wonderful job in terms of giving a kind of new motivation to people. I heard this story from this grandmother yesterday or day before. It was very interesting, and actually it is a very interesting idea that you have been doing, that there are lot many things for us to learn from the folklore. So try to explore that more, because even maybe that grandmother has not entered a school in her lifetime, but she can give much more education than a school teacher maybe. So explore such things more, and also these kind of interactions will be very very useful and helpful. And I really appreciate your work and effort, because there are many YouTube channels of course, but whatever you want to create, only you can create, others cannot. So keep doing this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And thank you for giving your time to us. It was indeed a very useful session. Probably all the viewers would get motivated and get new ideas from your talk after listening to this. Probably they will bounce back with more enthusiasm. Anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾ. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma. It is my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.